Hello everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo. Today's video is all about the challenge that I host each month called Be Creative, and I give a word to go along with that. This month, which we're September of 2023, the theme is fall, so we're using the hashtag Be Creative Fall, and we're making something that has to do with fall. It could be anything. You could do jewelry like I do. You could do paper craft, you could draw something, you could write a poem, you could do something with your dolls. There's just a variety of things. Today though, I'm going to address these leaves that I got from a recent bead box called Curated Bead Box. I don't like the bright, shiny gold. And so I'm going to see if I can do something about that. So I have these things called Ultimate Paint, and it's a permanent paint on wood, metal, resin, leather, and says and more. And I have used these on metal things like this before, and it has held up. It has not peeled off. It does really well. Let me get these paints out and see if we can figure out what color we're going to use. All right, so we have, we're calling this green opal. You have to shake these up really well before you use them. This is a citrine. Either one of those would work. And you know, in that bead box, look. Ooh, those beads would go really nicely. The Curated Bead Box and the Bargain Bead Box both had fall items and leaves. And I may be mixing some of the beads up. Both boxes go really nicely together. We have blue. I don't think I'll use blue. What do they call that? Turquoise, actually. But if I remember correctly, it is more of a blue. This is opalite, which is purple. That could be fall. I think it's more Halloween, though, honestly, and I don't want to do Halloween. This is, I can't tell if that's an A or an E. Petalite? Is that an E or an A? Anyway, it kind of looks pink, but it could be red. And I don't know, how do you say that? That's more of a lavender. We're not going to use that. So I'm going to use these colors, and I may use those beads. The paint brushes I'm using, I got two out. I don't know if I'm going to use this one. I'm probably just going to use this one. It's very small. I do want some of the gold to show through. I don't want to paint it where it's all one color. I want it to show a little bit of the gold and these colors. So let me get these all shaken up, and let's get to painting. While I'm shaking these up, I just want to apologize for my voice. I've been under the weather. I don't know what's going on. It seems like I get sick, and then I get better, and about 2 seconds later, I'm sick again. I guess I'm just going to have to break down and go to the doctor. I hate going to the doctor, but I have a feeling I may have strep, and it's causing other issues. Have y'all been sick lately? I know it's not COVID. So, but like I said, I think it's strep, and I know that can cause some other things if it's not treated. All right, I think these are shaken up really well. So let me open it up and start painting. So basically what I'm doing is just squeezing some of the paint on there and then just kind of mushing it around. I want to make sure to get all those bubbles out of there. I don't want the bubbles in there. So this is what I have so far. Just kind of want to blend the colors. We have the yellow here that I'm working on. The pink, I kind of put it into the green a little bit. And then I'm just going to leave that gold showing through. And I thought, you know, when I first was doing this, I thought, well, I probably will want to do them alike, but just mirror them. But you know what? There are no two leaves exactly the same. So I shouldn't do these exactly the same, not even mirroring them. So they're gonna be totally different. Here's my second one. And instead of sticking my finger in the paint, I kind of use this other brush to move it around because I don't want to get my fingerprints in the paint. There's still a few little bubbles that I need to pop. And when that's done, I'm gonna let them dry. And then I'm gonna turn it over and paint the other side. All right, I have them all painted how I want them, both front and back, and it says that they need to dry about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna gather some of my stuff up so we can make some earrings, and I'll be back. I like the way they turned out. They're not really like screaming fall, but you know what? As a person who's more of a summer person, these are more up my alley. They're the fall colors, but summery. So they need to cure a little bit more, and they still have those bubbles. I didn't get in there quick enough to get rid of them, and I don't know. They kind of bugged me a little bit. And I may go in there with a polishing cloth and kind of rub them a little bit. Maybe I'll get some of that gold to shine back up through there before it actually really cures a lot. Maybe that'll get rid of some of those bubbles. Well, let me try that. So I went in there with a really good polishing cloth, but it's not getting rid of the bubbles. Funny thing is, I don't see the bubbles unless I zoom in on my camera here. So maybe they won't be that noticeable. All right, let's figure out what beads we want with them. Okay, I am going to use 20 gauge gold tone wire. At first, remember, I mentioned these, but I'm not for sure I like those. The green isn't the right green. The yellowy gold would work, but I don't like that green with them. I really like these beads. Yeah, I'm not for sure I like them with the leaves though. It almost looks like I'm trying to match them and I didn't do a good job, so those are out. I could use these beads and try painting them that color, but I'm not for sure that's the route I want to go. I have another collaboration challenge coming up on the 18th, and I think it's called Fun Making Jewelry with Deb Hulk. She's the one who hosts that. And I'm using these beads, but you know, I think I see something in here that might work with these. Ooh, yeah. I like these a lot. That's what we're going with. There's also these. They're not exactly the same color, but they sure do complement. Maybe I can use both. Here's a piece that I painted. It's probably been about a year ago. I used some of the lavender and the turquoise. And I've worn this necklace quite a bit, and it has not worn off at all. And I've got them all wrapped up. I just need to do the other one. Basically what I did was these beads right here are kind of a pear-shaped. So the smaller end of the bead I have facing down toward the leaf, and I used these bead caps that came in the Curated Bead Box also. These came from the bargain bead box. These came from the Curated Bead Box. Let me get this finished and I'll show you both of them together. I just want to mention, I'm not using any jump rings. Usually jump rings will make your dangles dangle a lot more. But instead what I'm doing is I'm just making the loop bigger, and that way you'll have your dangle like you want. It won't be so tight in there. And there you go, they're all finished. Like I said, if you want your dangles to have more movement and you don't want to use jump rings, you can just make bigger loops, and then you will have more movement because your beads or your dangle is not so tight in there. I'm really loving the way these came out. They'll make a good fall pair of earrings and summer. So back to the bubble dilemma. I actually did a little bit of research on leaves and bubbles. And you know what? Some leaves do have bubbles in them. Or I meant to say on them. And also, many leaves in the morning will have little droplets of water on them called dew. And those kind of look like bubbles. So you know what? My leaves just have dewdrops on them. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So here's another look at my creation for this month's Be Creative Challenge. I hope you go check out all the other participants. All you have to do is use the hashtag #BeCreativeFall. And I hope you join us next month when the theme will be thankful. So that hashtag will be #BeCreativeThankful. Remember, all you have to do is make something that reminds you for next month of being thankful. Tag me and also use the hashtag for next month, #BeCreativeThankful. Thanks for joining me. Y'all have a great day. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo signing out for now. Bye-bye.